Hey guys, I'm Yoda the Giant, and this is a very in-depth guide for how to do well playing MCPVP Hunger Games. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright, when you first log on to a Hunger Games server, there's a couple things you can do. First of all, there's usually a few minutes before the game actually starts. You might want to spend this time looking around for villages or swamp biomes. The second thing you want to do is choose a kit. I highly recommend choosing the Fletcher kit. First of all, because it's free to use, and it has several distinct advantages. Whenever you kill a chicken, you always get 2 feathers as a drop, and whenever you break up a piece of gravel, you always get a piece of flint. And having arrows in the game is a huge advantage over other players, especially at the feast, because most players won't take the time to make a bow and arrows for themselves. Another thing you can do is if you find a village with a blacksmith in it, you can pick the jumper kit, which will start you out with 5 ender pearls. If you do that and you learn how to use the ender pearls correctly, you can get to the blacksmith first most of the time. If you do get to the chest inside the blacksmith first, you'll find in there most of the time some iron, which you can use to make armor or a sword or anything like that, or very rarely you can find diamonds in there. And getting any of these will make you a beast at the beginning of the game. As a side note, you can find blacksmiths in the village easily because they have half slabs on the roof. When you start the game, you need to get all your supplies as quickly as possible because you only have 2 minutes of invulnerability before you're open to attack from other players. In this time, it's usually a good idea to try to get at least a stone sword and a stone pick. You need to get 3 logs and 5 pieces of stone, and you'll do this by making a workbench, making a wood pick, mining 5 stone, and then making the stone pick and stone sword. After you've done this enough times and you can do it fast enough, you can usually get the stone pick and stone sword with plenty of time to spare. Another thing you want to look out for is if you're starting next to a swamp biome, you want to get a bunch of mushrooms and try to make some mushroom soup before the invulnerability wears off as well. Because if you can have some bowls of mushroom soup in your inventory, it will greatly increase your chances of survival. Once you're further into the game and you've gotten a ways away from spawn, you really need to think about getting some food if you haven't gotten some already. Mushroom soup is a okay alternative if you can't find any meat or wheat, but it's really good to try to get some wheat from a village or to kill some chickens, pigs, or cows if you can find them in a grassland or jungle. Although I don't recommend going into a jungle because it's very hard to traverse in there. If you don't get any food before you start caving, you'll have to resort to killing zombies for zombie flesh. While it's not a very good alternative, it will work. Now, once you do decide to start caving, if you go in a ravine, uh, you have to make sure that it's not close to the center of the map because there are enough people around that they will see you because the ravine is so wide open. Now, you can collect iron extremely fast, so if you're close to the outside of the map, being careful, it is a good idea to go in a ravine, but not close to the center of the map. If you decide to go in a cave, it'll take a little while longer and you'll have to use a lot more torches, but it'll be well worth it in the end because you won't have to worry about people sneaking up on you. Almost no one will follow you into the lit cave because you'll have mined up all the iron already, and they'll have to face you with your iron armor that you've already made. Hopefully you'll have gotten everything you need out of your cave by the time the feast is announced, but if you haven't, just stay in your cave and make sure you get everything you need before you leave, because if you don't, you'll be in trouble when the feast comes and you're fighting against people that have better equipment than you do. The things that I consider necessary before going to the feast is at least full iron armor, an iron sword, and a bucket of water. You can also get a flint and steel and bucket of lava if you would like. And if you can get a bow and arrow before the feast starts, that will help you significantly more than anything else you can get here. Because by using a bow and arrow, you can keep enemies at bay while dealing damage to them. And so at the very least you can get a few hits on them before going into melee combat. As for strategy when you get to the feast, you don't want to do what I am here doing in this video. In the video, I'm sitting here on the platform where the feast is about to come and just trying to watch out for people, I guess, and just hold off that area if I could until they get here, but that is totally not a good idea. When you see the feast coming, you want to go scout it out, see where it's at. You want to keep it within eye range, but you don't want to go in there and get yourself spotted by everybody, because that puts you in so much danger because everybody coming to the feast knows you're there and they're all going to be gunning for you if you're the only one on the platform. Once all the items from the feast finally do spawn, you really want to try to get in there and take some items. Unless there's a team of 2 or more just sitting in there by themselves looking out and taking all the items from themselves, you want to try to get in there. Even if there's like 4 people in there all attacking each other, they won't be focusing on you so much as you come in. So you still want to try to run in there and grab something, because if you get lucky you can get a couple diamond pieces of armor, you can get a diamond sword, some splash potions, and that will really help you out when you need to kill all these people that are coming to the feast. One last thing, don't underestimate the effectiveness of having enchanted items. If it's at all possible, try to bring the enchantment table with you before you leave the feast. If you've gotten this far into the game and you're now past the feast, congratulations. You're most likely in the top 10 and have a very good chance of winning this game. Now, there's 2 ways things could have turned out. Either the feast didn't go well, and you're now faced against people that have diamond armor while you yourself are stuck with iron, or the feast did go well, and you have diamond armor and you were hunting down the remaining players. If this is the case, don't be stupid. Do everything you can to stay alive. In this video there's 1 remaining player and he's pillared up in the sky. So I'm being extremely cautious, placing water at the bottom just in case I happen to fall, and I'm pillaring up after him. You want to take this slow, take it easy, make sure you do not die because you have this in the bag. You're fighting a guy that most likely has no armor, or if he does, he has iron armor and he doesn't know how to fight, and that's why he's hiding. If the feast went badly, don't worry, you still have a chance of winning the game. You just need to be extra cautious when you're fighting, and you're really going to be employing the bow and arrow, and maybe even a bucket of lava. If you can get them to swim in a bucket of lava, they will be dead in a matter of seconds. Another thing that might work for you is getting your pursuers to run into the force field by running alongside of it. There's a force field on the map at positive or negative x 500 or positive or negative z 500. If you can run alongside this and you have someone chasing you that doesn't know what the force field is, you may get them to run into it and die quickly. In this last part of the guide, I'm going to be showing you a few simple combat tips that can help you easily dominate other players in a fight. Using a bow to hit an opponent a few times before you can come in for a melee attack can help immensely in a battle. When you're in a melee battle, always try to sprint at your opponent and time your jump so that you're falling when you hit them. This will give you a critical hit. You can use flint and steel to quickly create a wall of fire if you're being chased, although it helps if you don't accidentally set yourself on fire as well. Using a bucket of lava on an unsuspecting victim can kill them in a matter of seconds. Probably the most important aspect of combat is mushroom soup. Mushroom soup will heal you 3.5 hearts instantly once you eat it. And last but not least is potions. Using a potion of slowness or a potion of poison can dramatically slow down your opponent, not to mention the large amounts of damage that the poison potion can do to them. The only thing more important than getting potions from the chest at the feast is getting diamond. And the only thing you really have to worry about is that the potions don't throw very far, and will most likely not hit the other player if they're running away from you. Thank you for watching this rather lengthy guide. If you liked it, please remember to subscribe, like, and comment below. And, as always, happy Hunger Games.